Alright, so today here at DCI Motorsports we got Mark Marshall's all Pontiac aluminum block Edelbrock cylinder heads ported by SD Performance on a 522.55 cubic inch, because I know Mark is anal about numbers being exact. So just getting a little busting in his chops in there a little bit. Anyways, we're going to fire this thing up. It's got Molnar 4375 stroke crankshaft in it. The bore is a 4360. It's got Ross Ross pistons in it. Forged pistons are custom for this engine. We have 6/800 long Molnar. I forget what they call their heavy-duty rod, but it's a 6/800 H-beam connecting rod, and it's for power adder use. That's because that's all we could get at the time we ordered those. The cylinder heads flow 340 CFM. They actually flow 336, but close enough to 340 CFM cylinder head. The camshaft is a custom ground comp cams. I ground for this engine. It's 242, 252 at 50 with a 110 lobe separation. We installed it at 2 degrees advance, or I think we put this one in at 2 degrees advance. It's got a billet double roller timing chain and gears in it. It's got Harlan Sharp 165 rockers. So the lift is right around, I think, 560 on this, or no, it's about 600, I think, on this camshaft. Now he's going to run a Edelbrock EFI ProFlow 4 on this engine when we're done with it, when he gets it in the car. So hence you see that he has fuel rails on here for fuel injection, and you can see the intake down there says EFI on it. So, but we got a carburetor on it, obviously, to start this thing on our run stand. This is an 850 CFM Holley double pumper carburetor. And so we're going to fire this thing up, let you guys listen to it idle a little bit. We'll show you the engine vacuum, which is roughly about 12 degrees, or I mean 12 inches when it's running at idle. And it goes up whenever you accelerate up to around 2,000. It'll go up to about 15, 16 inches, which is plenty for power brakes. I know that a lot of guys get freaked out about that, but you only need about 12, 13 inches of vacuum for power brakes if you're running a booster, a vacuum booster. I highly recommend you use Hydro Boost, but if you have a vacuum booster, this has got plenty of vacuum. So we're going to fire this thing up, let it idle here for a little bit, and then watch this thing rock whenever we crack the throttle. It's making some torque. I forgot to mention too, this thing's got Johnson hydraulic roller lifters in it too. That's all we use anymore is this Johnson lifter. They run quiet. This thing's got a steel flywheel on it. Does not have a flex plate. Everybody busts my chops about running a flex plate and watch it rev. We had a little bit of a problem with the freeze plugs leaking when we first put this thing together, and all it was one of the plugs are a little bit loose, so we got that fixed up and we're good to go now. Thing's idling roughly about 1,000 RPM at idle. The engine's warmed up, but it's only about 160. This has a 180 thermostat in it. It's actually probably about 170 right now. The oil pressure will drop down after it warms up a little bit more. Typically, these engines, with the way we blueprint the oil pump, will idle somewhere, if you have a 20 W50 weight oil in it, it'll idle right around 20 to 25 pounds of oil pressure at idle, which is good. Factory oil pumps only idle between 7 and 12. outside real quick because we got the exhaust pointed outside. I didn't want it in the shop, so go out here where you can hear the idle. Got a nice idle. This cam's perfect for what it's doing. That's 2,000 RPM. So that was probably 5,000 RPM. Alright, let's go ahead and crack it a couple of times.
Off idle.
Yep. That's what we like to see. See how the oil pressure's starting to come down a little bit? That's normal. Engine temp's coming up a little bit more. So there you go, Mark.